For more on this issue, we're joined by Wang Huiyao. He's the president of the Center for China Globalization, or CCG, in Beijing, and Li Jinsheng, vice president of CCG in Beijing. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, we're going to start with you, Mr. Wang.
Yes.
Later this year, China will be introducing a new law that is going to make donations to charitable organizations tax deductible. This is a breakthrough. How significant will this be, and what are the details of this law?
Well, it can be very significant because in the past 10 years, China was preparing or debating of drafting a new charity law. And as you mentioned previously, that because there's lacking of such a law, there's not the big incentives for people to donate, and also for entrepreneurs actually donated overseas, as you pointed out at the beginning. So I think now finally the legal environment is being prepared, and I think that there's a Congress the preparation is going on and the debating is going on. There are quite a number of universities has put the proposals, academics, plus the National People's Congress law drafting bodies on that. So I think, hopefully within a year, China will have a new charity law, and then we can have some guidelines and helping the entrepreneurs and wealthy people have incentive to donate, and also there's a tax implication in that.
We'll definitely see an increase there, and it's really been lacking because so far China's wealthy have given, well, very little, in fact. As we mentioned before, they gave around 890 million in 2012. Now, to put that in perspective, that's what Mark Zuckerberg and his wife gave. And the likes of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have been encouraging wealthy Chinese to participate more. How likely is that going to be?
I think, for the Chinese, so they have this, philanthropy spirit in their heart. But we need more transparency. We need more, public trust. We also need the legal system to help us to monitor the giving.
Well, trust and mistrust, rather, has really been a big issue. There were many scandals that have affected the public perception of this. One involving the Chinese Red Cross, when one of the employees was posting pictures of herself buying luxury items, flying first class, seriously misusing funds. So, Mr. Wang, how can that perception be addressed? Is it, in fact, an accurate perception that there are problems?
Well, I think the employee was not accurate. She was not an employee of Red Cross. But I think that the things that she has done online has damaged the reputation, I think, to some extent.
But is it an accurate reputation? Is there a big problem with funds not going to the intended target?
It is true. I think to some extent it was actually in many occasions has happened like that in the past. But currently, I think the government now is trying to correct that and trying to restore confidence in people's mind to actually to restore the donation and the spirit among the entrepreneurs.
So what should the government be doing, and what are they doing?
I think number one, government should restore the trust. One way to do so right now is anti-corruption today. By the new government. This is part of restoring the public trust and the fairness as well. Like for this woman, Guo Meimei, she's not working. She was not working for Red Cross, and she came from a broken family. She had no formal education. She has no official ties at all, and she's just using this scam, and to you can tell how how lack of trust and transparency this society has become.
Well, so much so that when the China Red Cross was soliciting funds after an earthquake and posting requests on social websites like Weibo, people were posting, and I quote, "Get lost." I mean, that seems to be a very big problem when people are suffering from earthquakes and the public's response, such distrust that they're saying, "Get lost." What is going to change that?
Well, I think there's going to be quite a lot of changes happening in the future. Well, first is of course, this new law is being prepared, so there will be more incentives for business community and wealthy people to donate, and that's probably the first one. The second is probably going to be a streamlined registration. Right now, there's still difficulties in registering some of those nonprofit organizations in China. Now, I think that we're going to help have a correct and also more clear way of doing that. And thirdly, I think also there will be clear spell out the rules and regulations, laws as to how to do this kind of a charitable work. For example, the State Council has actually recently, in the last few months, issued the guidelines as to how to promote the charity work in China.
Well, what do you think is one of the biggest challenges? I understand that for non-governmental organizations, it's a very cumbersome process and the policy there needs to be changed. What is the process right now for setting up an NGO? And what are the prospective changes?
To take your question one step back, 30 years ago, China has a policy, national policy was getting rich is glorious. So everybody was trying to get rich because China was very poor. So that was a national policy to build the country strong. Now 30 years went by, China is rich right now by all standards. So to get rich is glorious, should come with other like fairness, trust, and not to get rich by all means by breaking the laws, but to get rich and fulfill your social responsibilities as well. I think this is one thing the government is doing. The national policy is no longer to get rich by all means.
So social responsibility is definitely playing a bigger role in that. Is there an organization, one in particular, that you think charitable organizations in China should be modeled on?
Well, I think for the history of China, of course, China, we can see the culture of Chinese are really, they are not lacking the donating spirit. They are really giving as well. So I think in China, we see a number of organizations going on, and of course, we still need yet to I think have several models of there. I think foreign. Some of the foundations are in China, like Gates Foundations and quite a few like that. So I think domestically there's also some well practiced organizations. So I think there's a variety of examples that we can probably
with these new laws. How much of an increase do you think we'll see in the rise of charitable organizations in the next 5 years or so?
Well, I will be very bold to say something. You mentioned about earthquake. 2008, when earthquake happened, people donated everything they could. People who had no money, a girl running on the street, cut the hair, the long hair, just to pawn it and get money and donate. Then to become, get lost. So in this, that's 5 years' time. So in these 5 years, the government is doing everything right. Anti-corruption, misuse, mistrust. So the emphasis has changed. I would believe it's going to be tripled or a whole lot more.
Okay.
I'm very positive about the Chinese human nature. We are very giving.
That is certainly not in debate. All right, well, thank you for giving us your time tonight. We are going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Wang Huiyao, President of the Center for China Globalization, or CCG, in Beijing, and Li Jinsheng, Vice President of CCG in Beijing.